Welcome back to Visual Brain. Today, we are diving into a concept that honestly challenges the very foundation of what we call reality.
So let me ask you this. What if the solid, predictable world you live in every single day, the one you feel like you know inside and out, is just one channel on a kind of cosmic television with an infinite number of broadcasts? The sorcerers that Carlos Castaneda wrote about, they believed exactly that. For them, our perception of reality isn't set in stone. It's something that is actively assembled.
So in this explainer, we're going to break down how this reality is supposedly put together. We'll look at the hidden switch that tunes our perception, this incredible mechanism called the assemblage point, and the art of locking it into new positions to see entirely different worlds. Then we'll check out a really cool experiment, a crucial choice this knowledge forces on you, and the ultimate goal of it all, total freedom.
All right, let's start with that fundamental idea. You know that confidence we all have in our everyday lives? That feeling of knowing what's going on? Well, what if that isn't a sign of wisdom, but actually a symptom of a very rigid, locked-in setting?
I mean, think about it. We take so much pride in our rationality, right? In being of sound mind, certain that our feet are planted firmly on the ground. But sorcerers would look at that and say, that's just a byproduct. It's simply the result of our perception being stuck on one single habitual spot. The more fixed it is, the more certain and rational we feel. So, what exactly is this spot?
This brings us to the absolute core of the sorcerer's model of perception. This is the key to understanding how we build one single world out of an infinity of other possibilities.
Sorcerers who could actually see energy described people as these luminous eggs or balls of light. And on that energy field, about an arm's length behind our right shoulder blade, they saw this spot of intense brightness. They called it the assemblage point. Why? Because it acts like a lens, focusing on a tiny, tiny fraction of the universe's infinite energy filaments and literally assembling them into the coherent reality we experience every day.
Now, what's so fascinating is that we're not born with it fixed like this. Not at all. Sorcerers saw that in children, the assemblage point is totally fluid. It flutters and moves all over the place. That's probably why their perception seems so magical and unbound, right? It's only as we grow up, through social conditioning, through habit, that this point gets locked into one single position. Our entire upbringing literally trains us to perceive the world in one specific, agreed-upon way. Okay, so if the assemblage point can move, how in the world do sorcerers learn to actually control it? Well, this is where two absolutely fundamental arts come into play, and they work together perfectly.
So dreaming is the art of the shift. It's the practice of moving the assemblage point from its normal spot to countless other positions, something that actually happens naturally when we sleep. But just moving it, that's only half the battle. The other, and you could argue more important art, is stalking. Stalking is the art of fixating that point in its new location. It's all about making it hold steady.
And this is so crucial. Without that fixation, a shifted perception is just a chaotic mess. It's like a kaleidoscope of random images that don't make any sense. The ability to hold the assemblage point steady in a new position is what sorcerers call achieving cohesion. And that cohesion is what transforms those random flashes of insight into a stable, perceivable, and fully realized new world. The clarity of a dream, for example, is a direct measurement of a dreamer's cohesion. Now, I know this all might be sounding incredibly abstract, but Don Juan actually gave a very practical way to experience this shift while you're wide awake, using nothing more than a tree. The instructions were almost deceptively simple. First, you just gaze at the foliage of a tree. But here's the key. You don't just look at it. You have to stare at it as if you are in a dream. You have to summon what's called dreaming attention. You know that unique, intense focus you use to stop a dream image from just fading away? The goal is to apply that same willpower in the waking world, to intentionally nudge the assemblage point just a little, and then hold it there.
And the result for Castaneda was immediate and, well, pretty dramatic. By fixating his perception just like that, he was pulled into a vortex, a feeling he said was identical to the shifts he experienced in his dreams. For just a moment, his whole system for interpreting the world just broke. Perception became chaos, and then it reorganized itself. It was proof that by mastering fixation, you could perceive other worlds not just in your sleep, but from a waking state.
So this incredible ability to manipulate perception and actually enter other worlds, well, it creates a fundamental fork in the road. The knowledge itself isn't good or bad,
but the intention behind using it is what defines the entire path of the sorcerer.
And here you can see the two choices laid out pretty clearly. The sorcerers of ancient times, as brilliant as they were, they became obsessed with power. They focused on shifts within the human domain, learning to become a jaguar or a bird for personal gain. But modern sorcerers, the ones like Don Juan, they were after something entirely different, freedom. Their goal was complete detachment. They aimed for movements of the assemblage point outside the human domain to perceive worlds that are totally beyond our comprehension.
And this brings us to the ultimate purpose behind all of this discipline, all of this intense practice. It's not about getting magical powers or controlling people. It's about a quest for the most profound state of being you can possibly imagine. According to Don Juan, freedom isn't some prize you win at the end. It's not an investment that pays you back. It is an endless adventure. It's about being willing to risk everything, your life and so much more, for just a few moments of something so profound it's beyond words, beyond thoughts, and even beyond feelings.
So ultimately, the modern sorcerer's path is all about dissolving the boundaries of the self. The goal isn't to become a master of this reality. It's to become a silent, detached witness to realities so vast and so alien that they completely defy the human mind. It's the ultimate expansion of awareness.
And that really leaves us with one final thought. We are conditioned our whole lives to believe that the world we see is the only one there is. But what if that's just a byproduct of a fixed point of view? If perception truly is a choice, what world would you choose to see?